Picture this, that it's late at night. You're both on the couch, the credits rolling, and there's this incredible energy between you. Her head rests on your shoulder. Your heart is pounding, in that good way that tells you something real is happening. The conversation has flowed effortlessly all evening, and now there's this beautiful, charged silence. You feel it. She feels it. And you're wondering, what comes next? Here's what I've learned after years of building genuine connections. The answer isn't in some magic formula or manipulation tactic. It's in understanding something far more powerful: authentic confidence paired with genuine respect. The first foundation, confidence rooted in self-worth. Let's start with a truth that changed everything for me. Real attraction begins with being genuinely comfortable with who you are, not the performance of confidence, not borrowed swagger from pickup artist forums, but actual, grounded self-assurance that comes from knowing your values, pursuing your passions, and building a life you're genuinely excited about. When you walk into an interaction needing her validation to feel worthy, she senses it immediately. Not because women have some mystical power, but because humans are incredibly attuned to authenticity. We can all feel when someone is performing versus when they're genuinely present. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This isn't about not caring what anyone thinks. It's about your core sense of self-worth coming from within. Here's the practical application. Build a life that excites you independent of romantic validation. Pursue your career goals with genuine passion. Develop skills that challenge you. Cultivate friendships that energize you. Hit the gym because it makes you feel powerful, not to impress anyone. Create art. Build things. Solve problems. When you're genuinely invested in your own growth, something magnetic happens. You stop radiating, "Please validate me," energy, and start emanating, "I'm good with or without you" confidence. And paradoxically, that's when people are most drawn to you. The second foundation, leadership through clarity and attunement. Let's return to that moment on the couch, the one where everything feels right, and you're wondering whether to make a move. Here's what actually works. Read the situation with emotional intelligence, then act with clear intention while remaining completely attuned to her responses. This isn't about asking verbal permission for every micro-escalation. It's also not about ignoring consent or just going for it, regardless of her signals. It's about developing the emotional awareness to read nonverbal cues and respond accordingly. If the conversation has been flowing, if she's maintained close physical proximity, if she's making sustained eye contact, if her body language is open and oriented toward you, these are green lights. You can create a moment by slowing down, making genuine eye contact, and moving closer with intention. The key phrase here is remaining attuned. You're not bulldozing forward regardless of response. You're creating opportunity and watching carefully how she responds. If she leans in, maintains eye contact, seems present, continue. If she creates distance, seems uncomfortable, or gives any signal of hesitation, you pause, you respect that, and you keep the vibe comfortable. This is actual confidence. The ability to express genuine interest while simultaneously creating complete safety for her to say no without any weirdness or pressure. And here's what experience has taught me. When you approach physical intimacy this way, with clear intention combined with genuine attunement, it typically feels natural rather than awkward for both people. The third foundation, creating genuine tension through presence. Let's talk about chemistry, what it actually is and how it actually develops. Chemistry isn't created through manipulation tactics or playing hard to get. It emerges from genuine presence, emotional availability, and the natural tension that exists between two people who are authentically attracted to each other but haven't yet fully expressed that attraction. Here's what creates real tension: being fully present in conversation, asking questions you're genuinely curious about, sharing stories that reveal who you actually are, having opinions you're willing to express and defend, creating moments of playful disagreement or teasing that feel fun rather than mean. The silence between two people who are genuinely connecting isn't awkward, it's charged. You don't need to fill every gap with nervous chatter. Sometimes the most powerful moments are when you're both just present, looking at each other, acknowledging the electricity without rushing to defuse it. This is vastly different from manufactured scarcity or mind games. You're not pretending to be unavailable or playing texting games. You're simply living a full life and bringing that energy to your interactions. You have things you're excited about. You have boundaries you maintain. You have standards you uphold. When she texts, you respond when it genuinely makes sense, not according to some calculation designed to optimize attraction. When you make plans, there are things you're genuinely excited to do together. When you're together, you're actually present rather than mentally rehearsing your next move. The fourth foundation: owning your desire without apology or aggression. Here's a nuanced truth: being sexually interested in someone is completely natural and nothing to be ashamed of. But how you express that interest determines everything. The mistake isn't feeling attraction. It's either hiding it completely, which creates awkwardness, or expressing it in ways that make the other person uncomfortable, which creates legitimate concerns about safety and respect. The middle path is expressing genuine interest with calibrated confidence. This means your eye contact conveys interest without being aggressive or predatory. You're looking at her like you genuinely enjoy her company, because you do. Your body language is open and confident. You take up appropriate space. Your posture conveys comfort in your own skin. Your conversation includes appropriate flirtation when the context supports it. A genuine compliment, a playful tease, an acknowledgement of the chemistry between you that creates space for her to acknowledge it too. Your physical escalation, if the situation calls for it, is gradual and completely responsive to her signals. A touch on the arm during a laugh, sitting close, creating opportunities for physical connection while reading her response at every step. This isn't about suppressing your sexuality or pretending to be a sexless friend when you're interested in more. It's about expressing your interest in ways that create comfort rather than pressure. The fifth foundation: emotional stability as magnetic power. Let's talk about one of the most attractive qualities a person can have: emotional groundedness. Here's what this actually looks like. She takes a while to text back, and you're genuinely fine because you were engaged in something meaningful anyway. She seems distracted one evening, and you give her space while remaining warm because you trust that her mood isn't always about you. She mentions another guy, and you're secure enough to be unbothered because you know your worth isn't determined by whether this particular person chooses you. This isn't about playing games or pretending not to care. It's about genuinely having enough going on in your life that your emotional state doesn't hinge on any single person's moment-to-moment validation. Epictetus taught, "Don't seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and all will be well with you." In modern terms, you can't control whether any specific person is attracted to you. You can only control showing up as your best self and responding to whatever happens with grace. When you're genuinely emotionally grounded, something interesting happens in your interactions. Minor fluctuations don't throw you off. You can handle rejection without bitterness. You can feel attraction without desperation. You can pursue connection without neediness. And that stability is genuinely attractive, not through some manipulation dynamic, but because emotional stability is legitimately one of the most valuable qualities in a partner. The sixth foundation: co-creating moments rather than engineering outcomes. Here's the final shift that transforms everything: Stop trying to execute a seduction strategy and start trying to co-create genuine connection. The best intimate moments I've experienced weren't ones I manufactured through tactics. They were ones that emerged organically from genuine connection, mutual attraction, and both people feeling safe to express what they wanted. Sometimes that means she initiates. Sometimes you do. Sometimes it's so mutual and organic that you couldn't even say who started what. It just happened because you were both present, both attracted, both willing. Here's what this looks like practically. You create context where connection can deepen. Interesting dates, quality conversations, moments without the distraction of phones or other people. You express genuine interest in who she is beyond the physical. What she cares about. What makes her laugh? What she's working toward. You're honest about your intentions without being pushy. If you're looking for something casual, you say so. If you're interested in something more, you express that. You give her the information to make informed choices. You respect her boundaries completely while also maintaining your own. You're willing to walk away if what you're looking for doesn't align with what she wants. The paradox is this. When you stop trying so hard to make something happen and start simply showing up as your most confident, authentic, emotionally grounded self, things tend to happen more naturally. The integration, what this actually looks like. So let's return to that moment on the couch. The credits are rolling. There's undeniable chemistry. What does all of this wisdom actually look like in practice? You're present. Fully engaged in the moment rather than anxiously planning your next move. You read the situation with emotional intelligence. Her body language, her eye contact, her energy, these tell you whether the moment is right. You create opportunity with clear intention. Maybe you turn toward her more fully. Make deeper eye contact. Let a moment of charged silence exist. You remain completely attuned to her response. If she leans in, you continue. If she pulls back even slightly, you respect that without making it weird. If the moment is right and you kiss, it feels natural, like something that was always going to happen because you both wanted it to. If she's not ready, you maintain complete comfort and warmth. No wounded ego, no pressure, just continued genuine connection with no weirdness. Because your self-worth isn't dependent on any single outcome. The truth about attraction. Here's what I've learned after years of both mistakes and successes. Attraction isn't something you do to someone. It's something you create space for by being genuinely attractive, confident, emotionally grounded, passionate about your life, respectful of boundaries, and willing to express genuine interest without attachment to outcome. The techniques don't work because they're techniques. They're trying to simulate qualities that are genuinely attractive. But people can sense simulation versus the real thing. The actual path forward is simpler and harder. Do the work to become genuinely confident. Build a life you're genuinely passionate about. Develop emotional intelligence to read situations accurately. Practice expressing interest respectfully. Learn to handle rejection gracefully. When you do this work, when you become someone who is genuinely attractive rather than someone who tries to appear attractive, everything changes. You stop needing validation from any specific person because you're genuinely comfortable with yourself. You stop playing games because you're secure enough to be direct. You stop fearing rejection because you know your worth isn't determined by any single person's response. And in that space of genuine confidence and authentic presence, real connection becomes possible. Your next step. If this resonates with you, here's what I recommend. First, get honest with yourself. Where is your confidence currently coming from? External validation or internal groundedness? This awareness is the starting point for real change. Second, invest in building a life you're genuinely excited about. Your career, your fitness, your skills, your friendships, your passions. These are the foundation everything else builds on. Third, practice emotional intelligence. Start paying attention to nonverbal cues in all your interactions. Develop your ability to read rooms and respond to what's actually happening versus what you wish was happening. Fourth, practice respectful directness. Express interest clearly. Accept outcomes gracefully. Maintain boundaries while respecting others. Finally, remember, you're not trying to trick anyone into being attracted to you. You're becoming someone who is genuinely attractive by being confident, grounded, passionate, respectful, and emotionally intelligent. That's the person people actually want to be with. That's the version of you that creates real, meaningful connections. The work isn't easy, but it's worth it. Not just for your romantic life, for everything. Now go do the work. Your best self is waiting. Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.